There was a time when your person was completely absorbed in playing games with you, treating the sacred connection you shared as though it were something they could control, manipulate, and bend to their will whenever it suited them. They genuinely believed they could test the limits of your patience, push every single one of your buttons, and still find you waiting there for them with open arms, no matter how many times they let you down or broke the promises they made. They operated under the illusion that your love was something they could take for granted, something that would always be there regardless of how carelessly they handled it. But now, everything has changed. The energy between you has undergone a complete and total transformation. Ever since the moment they hurt you, ever since they made that choice to wound your heart, their entire life has begun to spiral into chaos and confusion. It is as if every single thing they tried to do to you, every manipulation, every cruel word, every moment of neglect, has been turned back around on them like a mirror reflecting their own actions with perfect clarity. The bad luck that surrounds them now is not simply coincidence or random misfortune. This is karma returning full circle, coming back to settle accounts with the precision and timing that only the universe can orchestrate. Every sleepless night they endure, tossing and turning while thoughts of you haunt their restless mind, every opportunity that slips through their fingers just when they thought success was within reach, every emotional breakdown they experience in the privacy of their own space, all of it is a direct result of the pain they caused you. These are not random occurrences but the natural consequences of their choices, the inevitable return of the energy they sent out into the world. They are truly losing their grip on reality now, struggling desperately to keep their composure as the full weight and truth of their actions presses down heavily on their conscience. For such a long time, they lived under the comfortable belief that they could avoid accountability for what they had done. They genuinely thought that walking away or pretending not to care would make them appear strong, independent, and unaffected by the situation. But deep down in their soul, where truth cannot be hidden, that was never genuine strength at all. It was fear wearing the mask of confidence. It was weakness disguised as power. Now they are beginning to realize, slowly and painfully, that pretending not to care only made them feel emptier and more hollow inside. The mask they wore for so long, the facade they carefully constructed to hide their true feelings, is finally cracking and crumbling. And behind that mask is someone who is deeply ashamed, filled with regret, and emotionally exhausted from carrying the burden of their own deception. They simply cannot keep up the facade anymore. The act has become too heavy to maintain. They are rushing forward now with the truth, desperate and almost frantic to express how they really feel, even though they know deep in their heart that it might already be too late. They are embarrassed by their past behavior, by the lies they told, by the ego they allowed to control them, by all the emotional games they played thinking they were so clever. And now they are finally beginning to understand, with painful clarity, the true depth of what they have lost. Their emotions are scattered everywhere, all over the place like pieces of a shattered mirror. Guilt washes over them in waves. Sadness sits heavy in their chest. Anger at themselves burns constantly. And deep, soul-crushing remorse colors everything they feel. They are emotional and raw because they truly know now, that they ruined something pure and beautiful. They destroyed something genuine, something that could have been absolutely magnificent if they had only appreciated it when they had the chance. You offered them love without conditions, honesty without pretense, and stability without drama. But instead of treasuring these precious gifts, instead of recognizing the value of what stood before them, they took it all for granted. They assumed it would always be there, that you would always be there, waiting patiently no matter what they did. Your intuition, that inner knowing that always whispered the truth to you even when you tried not to listen, told you all along that what they did would eventually come back to them. You sensed in your bones that karma would find its way to their door, and now you have been proven right. It has arrived. Their bad decisions, their poor choices, their moments of cruelty and carelessness have led them straight into a season of profound bad luck and misfortune. Relationships all around them are falling apart at the seams. Friendships that once seemed solid are dissolving into awkwardness and distance. Opportunities that appeared promising are slipping through their fingers like sand, vanishing just as they reach for them. Nothing in their life seems to go their way anymore. Every single time they try to move forward with confidence, believing they are finally making progress, life seems to push them 2 steps backward with force. That is the universe speaking to them, reminding them in no uncertain terms that energy never simply disappears into nothing. It only transforms, shifts form, and eventually returns to its source with equal measure. Meanwhile, your own energy has undergone a complete shift for the better. You have made the conscious choice to embrace peace over drama, to pursue healing over resentment, and to commit to growth over revenge. Your unbothered energy, your genuine calmness, and your quiet inner strength are absolutely driving them insane with confusion and longing. They can feel your detachment radiating from you like a force field. They sense your peace, your growing indifference to their chaos, and it haunts them more deeply than any angry words or accusations ever could. They are drowning in their own misery now, constantly replaying every memory and every precious moment they once shared with you. They wish with every fiber of their being that they could somehow turn back the hands of time, undo all their terrible mistakes, and make everything right again. But time does not rewind for anyone, no matter how desperately they wish it would, and so they are left to face the full consequences of their own actions with no escape route available. They are realizing now, with crystal clarity, that you were never the problem in this situation. You were never the one who needed to change or improve or become someone different. You are the blessing they failed to recognize. You brought genuine light into their life, illumination into their darkness, warmth into their coldness, and they actively chose to walk away from it. Without your presence in their world, everything feels darker, emptier, and so much colder than they ever imagined it could be. They feel powerless now, truly powerless, and utterly heartbroken. They are unable to find the same quality of energy or depth of connection they once experienced with you, no matter where they look or who they try to replace you with. You meant a great deal to them, far more than they ever allowed themselves to acknowledge or show. Even if they never expressed it properly, even if they hid behind walls of pride and fear, deep down in the secret chambers of their heart, you were their peace, their inspiration, their motivation to be better. But tragically, they made you feel like you meant nothing at all. They made choices repeatedly that pushed you away, that created distance, that forced you into the painful position of having to choose yourself over them. And while that decision to walk away may have been one of the most painful things you ever had to do at the time, it was also simultaneously your liberation, your freedom, your rebirth into a new version of yourself. Now, as they sit with the crushing weight of their mistakes pressing down on them day after day, you are finally beginning to feel lighter, freer, more like yourself than you have in ages. The universe, in its infinite wisdom and perfect timing, has balanced the scales of justice with precision. And that justice is coming your way now, not through revenge or vindictive satisfaction, but through genuine blessings, deep peace, and authentic happiness that comes from within. Because of your good deeds throughout this ordeal, because of your remarkable patience even when it was so hard to maintain, and because of your kind heart that refused to become bitter despite having every reason to, you are now attracting abundance and peace into your life in ways you never imagined possible. You are no longer burdened by their chaos or weighed down by their negativity. Instead, your focus has shifted completely toward your own healing journey, your personal goals and dreams, and your precious peace of mind. You have grown stronger through this fire, wiser through this pain, and infinitely braver because of everything you went through. Every heartbreak you endured, every disappointment you swallowed, and every tear you cried in the darkness shaped you gradually into someone who is now absolutely unshakable. You have learned one of life's most valuable lessons, that not everyone deserves access to your energy, your time, or your love. And you have mastered the delicate art of walking away with grace and dignity intact. The tough cycles and difficult seasons of your past have forged you into someone resilient and strong. Where you once felt broken into pieces, you now feel surprisingly whole and complete. Where you once doubted your worth and questioned your value, you now stand in full confidence of exactly who you are and what you bring to this world. You no longer need validation or approval from anyone who failed to see your value when it was right in front of them. The pain they caused you, as excruciating as it was to experience, turned out to be the very catalyst that awakened your dormant power and reminded you of your strength. While they chose the easy way out, running away from the connection instead of facing their fears and doing the inner work required, you made the brave choice to confront your pain head-on, to heal properly and completely, and to rise from the ashes transformed. And now the roles have completely reversed. They are paying the steep price for their avoidance and emotional cowardice, while you are reaping the abundant rewards of your growth and courage. They see you now, from whatever distance they watch from, and they notice that you are calm, glowing with inner light, and genuinely unbothered by their absence. And that observation stings them more than anything else could. They realize far too late that the love you offered them was rare, precious, and unconditional in a way that most people never experience in their entire lifetime. They are haunted constantly by the thought that someone else, someone who truly deserves you, might now be experiencing the peace, affection, and devotion they once took for granted. But that is the profound irony of karma and how it operates. It does not punish simply out of cruelty or vindictiveness. Rather, it teaches through direct experience, forcing people to feel what they made others feel, to understand what they failed to understand. They had to lose you completely to finally understand your true value. They had to experience your absence to realize what your presence meant. Everything you endured throughout this painful journey served a higher purpose, even when you could not see it in the moment. You have come full circle now, traveling the complete arc from pain to peace, from confusion to clarity, from heartbreak to genuine healing. And while they continue to struggle, trying desperately to make sense of their own downfall and wondering how everything went so wrong, you simply continue to rise higher and higher, attracting everything and everyone that is truly meant for you. The universe has witnessed your strength through the storms, recognized your kindness even when others were cruel, and seen your perseverance when giving up would have been so much easier. And now, in its perfect timing, it is rewarding you with a brand new chapter in your life, one that is filled with abundance, joy, and the kind of love that honors your worth completely and never makes you question it ever again. The path ahead of you now is clear and bright, illuminated by the light of your own inner wisdom and strength. You have learned who you are in the fire of adversity. You have discovered what you will and will not accept in your life. And most importantly, you have remembered that you are worthy of love that feels safe, relationships that feel peaceful, and connections that enhance your life rather than drain it. This is your season of harvest after a long season of planting seeds through tears. This is your time to receive all the goodness that has been making its way to you. And as you step forward into this new chapter with confidence and grace, you do so knowing that you earned every bit of peace and happiness that comes your way, not through revenge or bitterness, but through the courageous choice to heal, to grow, and to never stop believing that you deserve better.